Hello, hello. It is grocery haul day, and I am on a tight budget. I am living solo, and I want to stretch my grocery dollars as well as eat really well, eat things that are not only delicious, but they also nourish me, help me to age well, and that I'm getting the most for my money. How about you? Is that how you shop? I went to 3 different stores this morning, and it is a holiday weekend. It's a Saturday. I don't normally shop on Saturdays, though I had some coupons that were going to be expiring. I had some things that I needed to get for today, and I thought, oh, I was up early anyway. Let's just get out there, get it done. So I went to 2 different grocery stores. I went to a Kroger, it's called Smith's here in the city of Salt, and I spent $17.20 at that grocery store. I went to Rancho, which is one of my favorite ethnic markets here in town, and I spent $14.98 at that store. I also went to the hardware store since it is a holiday. Some of you might be celebrating Valentine's Day. It's President's Day on Monday. I celebrate something called World Sound Healing Day. You may have never heard of this. It's been around for over 24 years, I believe. And it's something that I found a long time ago, and I've been celebrating it ever since. I'm sending Mother Earth a sonic Valentine today. So I'm making a little campfire. I'm tending my grand dogs while my son and his partner are enjoying Orlando. And so I just got this little fire kit thing. So I spent like $4 there. I want to show you what I bought and give you an idea of how I budget, how I plan, and give you maybe some tips of how you can stretch your grocery budget, eat a little more nutritiously, and just partner it with things that you have on hand. I always like to see what other people are buying at the store, because then I imagine in my mind what they're making for dinner or what their preferences are. And I love watching cooking shows. I have a ton of cookbooks, both paper and virtual ones, because I love to cook. Cooking soothes me. Cooking really relaxes me. And in my world, food is medicine. So I am heavily invested in taking very good care of my health. And since food is a multi-component part of my world, since it's part of my healthcare plan, as well as I love food and I love to plate beautiful foods, even though I am on my own. I've been an empty nester for a long time, and I love to prepare beautiful meals for myself because I enjoy it. Let me show you some of the things I got. There was a sourdough baguette. This is one of the coupons, so I got that. I picked up 8 pounds of russet potatoes. Kroger often has these little red bag vegetables, and I always scope these out. These are avocados, and there are 5 of those in there, and I gave them all. We've all got our ways that we like to test the avocados. $1.25 for this, so I'm going to use these in a number of dishes. I had a coupon for these as well, these little gem lettuces, and I've been getting these for myself for a long time, because I can either cut one into 2 to make, 2 small salads, or just have a large salad with one. So this is a perfect portion for me. And if you're curious about making sure that they don't go bad, a trick that a dietitian gave to me a long time ago is that you take the little heads of lettuce out, or even if you buy the big heads of lettuce, and then you wrap it really tightly. Don't wash it. Wrap it really tightly in aluminum foil and put it down in your crisper drawer. That will keep lettuce good for up to 2 weeks. I've tested this out. I've done this for years, and I will eat these in the course of a week. I already know what I'm going to be doing with these. But if you typically find that you're buying lettuce and it goes bad, try that aluminum foil trick. I've got some frozen items too. I wanted to put these in the freezer first. I've just got some little crinkle carrots. And then I love, love, love broccoli. Use it in many, many different things. So I got an extra good sized bag of the broccoli. Kroger had a coupon where I could get 1 bag of vegetables for free. So that's why I decided to go ahead and buy the other large size, knowing how much I eat broccoli. Now with the little fire thing, I am splurging today. I am having treats and I am roasting marshmallows. No, they're not for the dogs, they are for me. A little goes a long way with these. So I'm an older adult and I know these are horrible for my teeth, and I will savor every morsel as I roast these later today. They also had grapes on sale, and you know, when I buy these bags of grapes, what I do, because I'm just buying for me, and some people get annoyed with this. I don't know why. I mean, it's my money. I earned it. I want to spend it wisely. I go through the bag because I don't want to buy the grapes that are perhaps spoiled. Now, yeah, I could easily just go and buy the big packed bag. I knew that I didn't need that much for what I wanted to make. And so I simply went through the bag, not, you know, investigating every single grape, though I picked through and took out some of the bundles and simply put them in another bag. And that enables me to buy the food that I will use. This isn't going to go to waste, and then I'm not overbuying something. I also got 2 of the, what were they? I think they were the Cosmic Crisp apples, and I only bought these at Smith's just because I had a coupon for 50 cents off 2 apples, and these were on sale. So that was a really good bargain. And apples for me are snacking, though if I ever buy apples that are in like the mesh bags when they're on clearance, I don't mind if they're bruised, because if I'm going to make like a compote, excuse me, or like cook them in pancake mix or a sweetbread or something like that, I can grate and I can cut up apples. I can use those in my oatmeal. So buying bruised things don't bother me. I was raised around family who either had farms or were raising animals, or we always had, everybody in my family and most of our neighbors always had large gardens, and we went to orchards to pick fruit when it was in season. So knowing how to make the best use of food when it doesn't always look pretty, that's fine for me. To me, that just stretches my budget and helps me to get the most out of my money. Kroger also had some coupons on if you bought a certain number of canned vegetables. So I just got some canned green beans. I got a couple of those. I got 2 cans of chickpeas. And if you haven't guessed by now and you don't know who I am, my name's Tiffany. I'm the founder of Anderson Therapeutics. I'm a health coach. I am a health educator, an alternative healthcare provider, and I adopted a whole food, plant-based, oil-free meal plan over 10 years ago. The Starch solution saved my life, changed my life, and no one in my world eats the way I do, though I am so pleased with the results and how I can dine so well, no longer count calories. I am maintaining a lean weight and maximizing my ability to practice lifestyle medicine at home and work in partnership with my doctor. Regardless of how you are eating, my son, all of the people that I know eat animal products. This isn't about bashing people for your food choices. You do you. This is about sharing the things that really work for me. And at the end of the day, we can all benefit by adding more plants to our diet. It's economical because, as I've showed you right here, I've gotten a lot for my money so far with the little bit that I've spent. And when my son was still home, or when they, come for dinner, or when, I go for a party and things like that, they love the food I make. I grew up liking all of the side dishes, so even when I did the high protein thing, I still loved salads, I still loved fruit, I still loved whole grains. I don't feel that I'm missing out on anything. This works better for me now as an older adult, and that I'm managing multiple chronic conditions, and it's keeping me off a lot of other medications that I no longer need because I don't have high blood pressure anymore. I don't have high cholesterol anymore. I am not carrying way too much excess weight that was harming my body and harming my joints. I got a can of cream corn as well. Needless to say, thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have all sorts of great foodie videos. I have a whole Nourish playlist that shows examples of the foods that I eat and how I am dining well to age well. There's some cilantro. I use a lot of this. Some people don't like it. I Got also some celery. Hadn't had celery for a couple of weeks, and honestly, because it's winter and it's off season, this was $2. I would never have normally spent $2 for this, though, because of the grapes and some other things that I have on hand. I have a dish in mind where I'm going to be using the celery hearts, and I really love to have celery in salads, and then as the staples when you're cooking, the power of the three, the onion, the carrots, and the celery. I already had carrots, and the canned ones I'll probably just eat on my own or pickle them or something. So I got bananas, always using bananas. A lot of times I just freeze them, and that is how I make a frozen treat called nice cream. It's basically a sorbet. I got 3 Persian cucumbers. Whoops. I still have some of the plant-based yogurt that I bought last week, and I've made this so far this week. I made an avocado crema, so that was a lovely dairy-free sauce. And then last night I roasted some tomatoes and some onion and garlic and cooked some rice, and then I took the yogurt and mixed it with dill and lemon and just salt and pepper, and just made kind of like this Greek dish that I had with the rice, and it was delicious. And I wound up having enough that I've still got a big container left in the fridge. I needed more radishes and a couple more. I'm going crazy on potatoes this week. The starch solution, you focus on a starch. That's the star of the show on your plate, and then you just surround it with lots of fresh vegetables and fruits and grains, and that's my plan. Easy peasy. There were a bunch of different red potatoes, the Asian potatoes. So I've got about 7 of these. The garnet yams, I will be roasting these, and I've shown in another video that Javant and his Healthy Vegan Eating channel, if you haven't seen that and you are plant-based, probably you've seen it, but I hope if not, go find his channel. Javant is amazing. I got to meet him in person at the Plant Powered Party in Las Vegas last year, and he made a chocolate pudding dessert using roasted sweet potatoes, sweetened with dates only, and just the cocoa powder, a little bit of salt. I spice it up a little bit and add some cinnamon, some cayenne, because I really love that contrast of sweet, spicy, salty type of thing, and so good. And these were on sale. They were like 69 cents a pound, so I couldn't pass those up. I also got this other type of sweet potato, and I love to get this slender, the more narrow, because since I'm just cooking for me and this will be my my star of my plate for dinner, then I will cut these up and I will leave the skin on and then put them in the air fryer with some type of a marinade, and that will be my main that I'll have with vegetables. And the great thing with any of their tubers is that since it's still February and it's a little cool, plus I have a garage where I can put any of those, that they're not going to go bad anytime soon. So I will keep an eye on those, and I know that I'm eating those this week. Rancho also had all of their onions on sale. And so I got 1 purple onion, and then I got 3 of the brown onions. They had oranges on sale, and I like the smaller oranges. I wanted to use some of the zest for perhaps either a pancake or a sweetbread. I still haven't decided. That these were the size of the oranges. They were enormous. So I only bought 1, and I'm going out of town on Monday for a little jaunt. So I thought, well, that will just be my big, beautiful dessert for one of my meals, and then I will save the peeling and zest all of this. What I want, just for in comparison, they also had grapefruit on sale. So look at the size of the grapefruit and the orange. This orange is enormous. It's probably going to be delicious. I just, I usually like the oranges that are more like this size, but I digress. So that's my haul that I got here for the little bit that I told you. About 15 odd bucks from Rancho and a little over $17 from Smith's. Now I already have oats on hand for I usually have oatmeal for breakfast. I have frozen potatoes so I can make my veggie loaded hash browns. The meals that I have in mind, because I have that plant-based yogurt and I've got like some cremas and the other more citrusy, like Greek type of flavor, plus I could make something, else with that. It's so versatile. It's just that base, that flat base, similar to what you would use in other yogurt or maybe even a sour cream. This is a Greek one, so it wasn't a sweet. I crave savory more than I crave sweet. The meals that I have in mind for this are a lot of bowls and definitely a lot of potato dishes. With the russets, I will bake about half of this bag and just keep those in the fridge because those are just quick grab and go meals for me, especially on my busy work days. I've also been craving a veggie mash. They didn't have mushrooms on sale. I was going to make a mushroom gravy, but I will just make a regular gravy, and I always have frozen greens. I've got frozen spinach. I also have frozen collard greens, and I put greens in nearly everything. When I make a gravy, and this is from Mary McDougall, she is Dr. McDougall's wife and one of the co-founders of the Starch Solution. She has a golden gravy recipe that is divine. Now, I grew up with dairy farmer on my mom's side and lots of farmers and, people who raised animals on my dad's side. So we grew up having the meaty gravies and all the sauces and all those things. So I knew exactly what my taste buds, expect when I think of gravy. When I switched over to this meal plan, I thought, oh, how the heck would I make a gravy? Then I discovered Mary McDougall's golden gravy recipe, and I will put a link to that recipe at the end of this video. Please check that out. The base, you can either just use water or vegetable broth, and the thickening is with brown rice flour, and all of the umami and the smokiness and the seasoning and everything that makes it a richer, darker looking gravy comes from things like low sodium soy sauce, a little bit of tahini if you like. I don't always use that. I typically will, saute some mushrooms and then keep a little bit of the liquid to put in there. And I often use liquid smoke as well. There are so many ways that you can season and flavor foods that aren't necessarily animal product based. Just to give you some ideas, because when I was growing up, way back since I'm 60, that my parents were on a tight budget. My family was quite poor, and so I watched my mom stretch a pound of hamburger by doing things like grating raw potatoes or chopping up onions to stretch the meal. My grandmothers and my great-grandmothers, they would stretch the meals with things like potatoes and rice and making their own bread. There were always those things that were going to fill the belly when you're feeding a big family and when you're on a tight budget. Meat's expensive. Dairy is expensive. And I learned that as a young mother. So when I was feeding my son, and as boys often do as they get older, they're hungry. And one of the things that I did to stretch my budget, I knew I certainly wasn't going to go hungry. I'm happy with my weight, though, even when I was younger and running and a lot more slender, that I could go without, but I certainly wasn't going to let my son go without. I would save, the best meals since I divorced when he was small, and on the days that he was with me versus when he was with his dad, my ex-husband, I would save the best food for when he was home with me. What mom wouldn't? And when he was away, it was easy for me just to have the bowl of oatmeal for breakfast and even dinner sometimes, because it wasn't a priority. That it was food for me is, yes, it's lovely, and it's energy. food is a source of energy. That's something I learned about in sports, and it's something that I've carried with me, and I feel that it's helped me to, especially since I began working in the field of health in the late 1990s. It became my career because it's something that I'm very passionate about. It's something that I'm interested in. And a lot of the relatives that I was helping to care for, that I learned more and more that there's so many things that we can do for ourselves that are a lot more helpful than just waiting until we get sick and then, needing a bunch of pills or surgeries that could have been preventable. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I have dual artificial hips, and I've definitely had a lot of health crises come up in my life. Some definitely were preventable, and others, like when my joints failed, it's still to this day unknown etiology. My doctor, specialist, surgeon have no idea. It happened in my mid-40s, and joint replacement is getting to be one of the most common surgeries, even with younger adults. And that I find disturbing, because there are so many ways that we can protect our health and that we can invest in healthy lifestyle behaviors. Those are the buzzwords. Though putting them into practice, that takes effort and just those simple little daily habits. Adding more vegetables to your meals. And for any of you out there who don't like vegetables, or you have picky eaters, or you're cooking for a lot of other people and feeling that it's exhausting, I totally get that. When I was still partnered, when my son was still home, when I was cooking for other relatives, I was making my own meals differently. I was cooking for others who had allergies and had their own preferences, and loved ones that I love cilantro. I've known lots of people that this tastes like dish soap to them. So I was very conscious of that, and that was also my job as the wife, as the partner, as the mom, as the daughter, as whoever, that as the one who was the designated cook in the home, that was my job to know all those things and to help them maneuver it by putting together something nutritious and tasting, and ideally something they would like. Now that I've been an empty nester for a very long time and living alone, and whatever age you are, I have found it incredibly liberating, and I have so much more time, which when people always ask me, why do you work multiple jobs? Well, I have since I was 15. And right now, because I've worked so hard and in so many capacities for so long, it feels foreign not to do that, because I like to stay busy. I have really creative habits. I'm very active. I love to travel. And as I am getting into this final chapter of my life, that ensuring that I can stay independent and that I can stay active, and I want to keep on taking those trips, that this is the perfect way to do it. It's right here. It's with all these lovely, beautiful, delicious foods right here. And whatever you add to them or remove, or whatever the case may be. As a health coach, I'll give you the advice that I give to anyone that I coach, especially for anyone who's watched this far. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For anyone who asks me about wanting to improve their diet, wanting to lose weight, wanting to feel better, sleep better, decrease inflammation, whatever the case may be, eat what you like and accept the consequences of your dietary choices. And if you know in your heart of hearts, when you are listening to yourself, listening to your body, and you find that I can no longer eat this because every time I do, I feel like crap. I get heartburn. I get indigestion. I feel bloated. I feel incredibly gassy. My joints hurt. I'm not sleeping. Whatever the case may be, then listen to your body. Listen to your body. I completed a 7-day mindful eating challenge last week. And I will also put the link for that there if you're interested. I have cued into my emotional responses for a long time. And I am respecting my body because this is the little vessel that I'm wandering around the planet in. And I want to take good care of her. I wasn't really encouraged to do that when I was younger. I was always encouraged to take care of other people. And I've been happy to do so. And I sure wish somebody would have really encouraged me when I was much younger to really take care of myself. Because a lot of those lessons I've had to learn the hard way. And I'm no longer willing to do that. I love me. And I hope you can look in the mirror, put your hand on your heart, and tell yourself that you love yourself. Dine well to age well. Thanks again for watching. Check out some of my other videos, and I will see you next time.